Welcome to this short webinar about how to get clients through groups online, the untapped goldmine hiding in Facebook and WhatsApp group pitching. So just to start off with, most coaches think that Facebook is dead. They think nobody posts there other than their mum or their nan or whoever in an older generation. But in actual fact, it's a secret gold mine. And there's a subsection of Facebook that is still insanely active, which is where I personally go to find a lot of clients, and you can too. And I'm talking about Facebook groups. If anybody's still wandering around in Facebook groups, you'll know what I'm talking about here. A lot of them are still insanely active. Most people actually keep their Facebook alive just to access Facebook groups. They're overflowing with leads who are looking for exactly what it is that you do. And I built my first 8,000 person community entirely by showing up in Facebook groups and letting people know about what I do. So today I'm going to show you how to kind of pitch or introduce yourself in Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups without appearing freaky, weird, awkward, and not give people the ick. So I'm just going to dive in and explain first about my own story. And that's because Facebook essentially started my first business. So I run a huge community for women who like to get out on adventures, which later became a tour operating company. So when I started this, I basically moved to Bristol after 6 years of travel, and I didn't know one person in that city. So to find people, I went into a bunch of Facebook groups that were just for women, and I said, hey, these are the kinds of things I like doing. Is anyone up for doing this with me? And tons of women said, yes, me too. So I actually started my own Facebook group and I added them all to that. So that was kind of the start of the group. And then later on, I turned it into a business because I started to release paid products because I became qualified as a guide, qualified as a climbing instructor, and later on turned it into a big travel company. And that's all because of Facebook groups. This is how it started. My group in the early days was around 200 something women. It grew to thousands, and then I had thousands across other platforms as well. So what worked for me here was showing up in these groups and kind of, expressing my own problems, wanting to find these people and looking for others who had the same issue, wanting to find people like me, because you can go in Facebook groups and you can basically search for anything that people are speaking about, all the keywords that you like. So, for example, I once went inside a group called Aussies in London, and I just dropped there. If anyone's into hiking and outdoor activities, I have this little community, and so many women joined from this post. So many. At one point, people actually thought I was running an Aussie group because that's how many Australians came from one single Facebook group. So they came in because I ran free events, but then they also came to paid events too. So every single client, early days, straight from Facebook groups. And here's just some examples. So here's the one on the left that I posted in Aussies in London. So I probably posted it at a key time because I posted it in January, and that's mainly when people want to get out and do new things. And as you can see, it was liked by over 100 people and it had 38 comments, and all of those people fed directly into the group. And then just an example with what I'm doing now. So I posted here in Digital Nomads Thailand, looking for coaches in health, wealth and relationships who want virtual coffee chats, help each other grow in 2025. And it received 24 comments. And of course, with all of those, actually for this one, because sometimes Facebook doesn't like you posting links, I just sent them my Instagram handle. And then once they'd added me, I engaged them there. And then whilst I was actually looking for photos to post in this little webinar, I came across another one in the Aussies in London from a Pilates instructor. So just an example of how this can be used by literally anybody who's a coach. So this lady here said she's a Pilates instructor from Oz, and she started running social Pilates in the park. And from this, it got 162 likes and 49 comments, which is absolutely insane. And it's just all these people tagging their mates, and everyone sort of saying, yeah, I'm up for this, me too. So you can see how this can be used to incredibly great effect. There is an art form to it, which I'll explain next. So there's 3 steps in which you approach this. So firstly, you need to choose the right room. So you need to go around looking for Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups. WhatsApp groups, by the way, are incredible. I sell out my events just from posting in WhatsApp groups. I mean, they're free events, but then of course, that's just the start of a funnel. So Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups where your dream clients are active, you need to go and find them. Don't overthink it. So if it's in your niche, they're in a group. There's literally hundreds of thousands of groups on Facebook right now. You can find a Facebook group to do with anything. Literally, they're not all going to be highly active, but there's loads of them out there that are. So if your niche client is, let's say, people who want to lose weight, people who want to get healthier, firstly, make sure these groups aren't run by somebody that does exactly what you do. I mean, there are ways to get around that. But, you know, for example, if they're mums, that's another great one. Tons and tons of mums groups on Facebook. So this is exactly where you find your niche. Secondly, lead with value. Lead with value. So never go in there and post straight on the wall. Hey, I'm a coach of X, hire me. Instead, you kind of need to lead with something meaningful. So you see the girl from Australia, you know, she sort of led with a bit of a story. I think it'd be so good to get people together. The weather's nice at the moment. She didn't sort of post meet me here at X time. This is how much it is. It reads differently. If you start to study a lot of these posts, you'll see a pattern of what works and what doesn't. You need to lead with some kind of value. Actually, mine had the link in there and I don't know how it did so well. Generally, they don't do that well if there's a link and it looks like an obvious business. Typically, you're going to be sort of going in there saying that you're offering something fantastic. So just as an example, one of the coaches in Impact Coach Collective is Claire, and she's a wellness coach. So she runs a free community for women who can meet up in Phuket, and it's fantastic. She provides loads of free events. So of course, that is a massive free value. And that's how I met her. And went into her community and went to her events because I posted in a Facebook Phuket group before I moved there. I'm not living there anymore, by the way, but I lived there for 6 months. So I posted in there that I'm looking for women to meet up with, and she responded, and that's fantastic. And then of course I'm in her community, so whenever she does run the occasional paid event, I can see that too, and I know exactly what she does. So this is the kind of thing that I'm speaking about. And it doesn't have to be events. Don't watch this and think, oh, I've got to start running events. You don't. You can also provide some sort of WhatsApp group, just something to bring people together with common value that they'd want to dive into. Only later do you bridge to your world. So step number 3, you know, once you've got them in your group or your event or whatever you like, that's when you kind of bridge to, you know, paid product or something like that. Just kind of let people know what you do, but without being in their face with it. And then it's up to them to decide, oh, actually, I think I'd like to work with this person, because you've kind of built trust. Another thing that you can use here is Nextdoor.com. Nextdoor.com is probably like the most underrated platform. So Nextdoor.com is essentially your neighbors. So it'll only let you join in your area, so your postcode area. So you can only see and get to know people around the local area, posting events in there or finding people looking for things. It's just kind of endless. Another thing that you could do here, which I didn't mention, is go into Facebook groups, look for other people who have an issue or looking for something in particular. So I tend to go in Facebook groups, especially those in like digital nomad communities, and look for anybody who's written the word coach. So you can search for particular keywords. So if you are a menopause coach, for example, you can go in mums groups or anything like that and search for anyone who's mentioned menopause. You will definitely come across other coaches who are trying to sell something to do with helping people with menopause, but you'll also find women probably saying, is anyone else going through this? Is there anything I can do? You know, has anyone got any tips? And you can offer smashing value, or you can offer to meet up to talk about it, something that might help them. There's just kind of endless routes that you can take here, but it really, really works. So what I'm teaching you today, this should get you clients. It got me clients. So if it's used correctly, it can start to bring in a stream of clients. What I'm teaching is part of the Growth Hour program. So this is a mini workshop in this series. So G is for groups. So be sure to dive into the rest of the videos. So the next one would be reach and how to do cold outreach. If you practice at least one of these for 1 hour a day, then the compounding effort of that will result in your first 50 clients guaranteed. And it will happen in no time, because the more you do this, the more you put yourself out there, you're casting a wider and wider net as time goes on. And these efforts will compound over time. It means they start stacking on top of each other. So even if you don't hear anything now and nothing happens now, it's over time that things will start moving for you. So if you like clear direction to follow this framework, make sure that you save this group, save Impact Coach Collective into your browser or your phone desktop or anything like that. And then make sure each day you're popping into the event section, because the event section I'm now using as a calendar for this. And in that calendar, you can be guided on exactly what to work on each day. So if you're someone like me, it's a little bit like, God, I need some clear direction. I need somebody just to tell me, do that thing today. And that'll give me motivation to do it. It's completely free to you. So please feel free to use it and get the most out of it. I swear, if you follow this, you will definitely get some results. If you need more direction on how to build a mega coaching business that goes way beyond your first 50 clients, i.e. how to build outstanding offers for referrals on tap, a complete marketing and sales 360, and, you know, a setup that's completely efficient on time and energy so you can do the things that you love, this is exactly what I'm teaching inside my high touch one-on-one program, Growth Hour, to clients right now, coaches just like yourself. If you want to know anything else about that one-on-one program that I run for 4 to 6 months, please get in touch with me. And you can do that by following me at Kate Capelli Coach on Instagram and just reach out. Anyway, what you should go and do right now for results. Go and choose 10 groups on Facebook and WhatsApp. If you're in any sort of WhatsApp, like business WhatsApps, they're fantastic. Some of them say, right, only on Mondays you can post and advertise yourself. I've done that. I've got clients through WhatsApp groups. Like I said, I've like sold out events through WhatsApp groups. Be mindful, you know, you're not annoying anybody by constantly posting. I did have a coach who used to do this themselves, and they kind of really irritated the members because they just kept posting relentlessly. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about offering more value than selling yourself. So go ahead, find 10 groups in your niche, and then go inside and you can post value. So post something like what I showed you there, like the examples, and see if anyone responds. You can leave meaningful comments. So find conversations by using the little magnifying glass. Find people speaking about what your niche is. Look for your target audience, so your client avatar, and then start conversations with these people, either a back and forth or, you know, drop some value bombs in there, and then track what happens. The most important thing is to track what happens. Keep a note of the groups that you're joining. Usually you've got to join Facebook groups and you wait for a little while to get approved. So make sure you're just keeping a spreadsheet somewhere and saying exactly what groups you're in, exactly what you've posted, and how many people have you sort of got out of the group to where you want to take them, because you want to track this. You want to know exactly what works. It's no good posting something, realizing, oh, this worked really well, and then you don't know where you posted it, you can't remember, You don't know what it said. You don't know which one worked the best. So always track those metrics. So I do this on basically a huge spreadsheet, and stir it up a bit. You can go in one group and try one post, go in another, try something else, go through those groups, see who's doing the same, and see the kind of structure that they've done. If they've done something similar to what you want to be doing, it's worked really well. There's hundreds of thousands of Facebook groups. The chances of someone seeing what you've written somewhere that looks kind of remotely like theirs is just not going to happen. Okay. So try that out. Please let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear about it. So your next step is to dive into the R, which is the reach out for cold outreach webinar. Watch that one for how to approach clients cold, people who do not know you, how to reach out to them to essentially grow your audience and build genuine connections with complete strangers and get them interested in what you do. Okay, thanks for joining me for this webinar, and I will see you in the next one.